Hey everybody, it's Angie from Trips with Angie, and this video kicks off a series about my summer 2024 European adventures. We're gonna start in Edinburgh, Scotland, head to the Arctic, down to Helsinki, Finland, and then on to the Mediterranean, and I'm gonna take you along for the whole ride. So let's get started. We flew United through Washington, D.C., directly into Edinburgh. These are the views you can expect from the right-hand side of the plane as you're landing. You pass over a beautiful ocean and then these beautiful green fields as you land. It was an overnight flight, so we got there around 10:30 in the morning. They had e-gates where you just had to scan your passport to go through, and then you ended up in baggage claim. We carried on our bags, so we found our transfer right away. We love booking a transfer after an overnight flight. Having that person there with the sign with your name makes things so much easier. It took about 30 minutes to make it into Old Town Edinburgh. Edinburgh split into Old Town and New Town. There's our first glimpse of the castle. We stayed at Native Hotel, which is an apartment style hotel. Our room wasn't ready, so we headed out to George Street after setting them up with our luggage. We found Slug and Lettuce, which is this cool little pub. I love the decoration. Of course, we had to get our first ciders and beers as we sat down. I had a terrific avocado toast with a side of corn, though being from Indiana, I like our corn a little bit better. And then we headed towards the castle. We had pre-booked 2 p.m. entrance into the castle. This is highly recommended to pre-book your entrance. It does get very, very busy. And here are some of the views from the top of the castle. You can walk around the castle. A lot of the places don't allow photographs, but this was the coat of arms. They had it decorated how it would have been with all the different types of medieval weapons that would have been used. There's a beautiful ancient chapel with beautiful stained glass windows, and then another viewpoint just looking over the entire Edinburgh area. This was inside our room. We headed back to the hotel for a little bit of an afternoon nap. So this was the studio, again, at Native Edinburgh. It has a great little mini kitchen. You have a small refrigerator, a microwave. We ended up with an accessible room. It just meant that the bathroom got very wet. We headed back into Old Town for dinner at the Beehive Inn. Highly recommend getting a reservation. When we entered, there really wasn't anywhere to sit, but I had pre-booked a table up in the pub, which was so nice. They put a little sign on your table saying it's just for you. I had to try the steak and ale pie, which was delicious. We also had the haggis fritters. I figured that was like a good entry point into haggis. This is also the location where the Edinburgh literary pub tour begins. This street they take you to was set to be inspired for, the Harry Potter area. We went to Jolly Judge, and then the way the tour works is you stop in different areas and at different pubs, and these actors perform different works from famous Scottish authors. So it was a great education into the Scottish authors while being able to walk around and learn more about Edinburgh. For our second day in town, we pre-booked a bus tour out to the Scottish Highlands. Now, this is a traditional 50 people on a bus. We ride the bus all day, stopping every couple of hours to stretch our legs just to get a real sense of the scenic area in the Highlands, and especially to visit Loch Ness. Our first stop was at this farm stand where people could pick up items for lunch or even some fresh milk. And what was really fun was they had lots of fresh produce, terrific cheeses, and they have the hairy coos, which are these special Highland cows called hairy because of their long hair. Now, the drive was very scenic. You got to see a lot of the different areas, this beautiful rivers. We did get to step out and walk around. Now, this is the Glencoe area. This is a famous valley for its absolutely gorgeous scenic views. And of course, you have a little bit of that Scottish fog over it. We stopped at another center, really just a tourist center. It had a gift shop as well as a cafe for lunch. So if you hadn't picked up anything at the farm stand, you could have a hot lunch here. We opted to try the baked potato with chili. So it was baked potato or macaroni and cheese were kind of the hot options. They also had soup and sandwiches. And then it was time to head towards Loch Ness. So the first part of the tour got to get off. If you wanted to tour the castle, you could have pre-booked that. So we dropped the folks off at the castle and then we headed towards Loch Ness. I've always heard about the Loch Ness Monster, so I really wanted to go to Loch Ness. I had no idea how large this lake is. It is 24 miles long and it can be up to a mile wide in some parts. We stopped at a hotel where additional part of the group could take a boat tour out on the lake if they wanted. We opted to just walk around and explore the lake. Love the statue of a sighting that took place. After leaving Loch Ness, we headed to Inverness, basically just to do a drive-through to give you a sense of the town. Now, this is the place you would want to headquarter if you wanted to spend more time in the Highlands. We had a last stop on the way home for dinner if you wanted that option, and then we crossed over one of the 3 bridges back into Edinburgh. The next morning, we got up early and wanted to go to Cafe Royale for lunch. This is a very famous spot for seafood. Unfortunately, they hadn't gotten their seafood delivery, so we tried the smoked salmon smoked Scotch egg, which was delicious, and headed to find another location up the stairs. Edinburgh has a lot of stairs. We went to the Gourmet Mash Bar company and had the best dish of Edinburgh, this incredible mushroom casserole over baked potatoes. We continued up the hill to Atlas Obscura to check out the Camera Obscura, a 100-year-old camera that provides incredible views of Edinburgh. There's also a great observation deck where you can see more views of Edinburgh that rival what you can see from the castle. And then on the lower floors, it's kind of this quirky, fun house with all different types of optical illusions. We headed down the Royal Mile, so this is the area leading out from the Edinburgh Castle. We stopped at the Museum of Childhood. This is a free museum, and it was just really fun to walk through and see all the different toys and see different toys that had different names in the United Kingdom compared to the US. We settled into the World's End pub. We thought this was a historic pub, but it's really not. It's kind of more of a chain, but it was still great being there while a football, aka soccer tournament was going on. For dinner, we headed to Queen's Arms, which is in Newtown, and got to sit outside in this gorgeous weather, having a chicken pot pie and macaroni and cheese. So that's Edinburgh. We are on our way right now to check in at the George for the second part of this grand adventure, which is a seaborne Arctic cruise. So look for the next video.